Good morning, y'all. It's Cody. Cody's Bait and Tackle, Warsaw, Missouri. I'm going to give a little bit of a fishing report here for Labor Day weekend. Kind of tell you what you need to know. We do have a big cold front coming in Friday, coming in tomorrow. It's supposed to be a lot cooler after that. About a 10-degree drop tomorrow in temperature. Almost a 20-degree drop by Sunday in what we've been having. So that's gonna change fish a little bit. It's gonna slow them down some. It should still be a decent bite, though. The hybrids are going to be really slow this weekend. These big cold fronts usually shut them down first. Crappie will be fair. They're biting really good right now. All the guys I've been talking to has pretty well been catching limits on the main lake. So I'll go over the crappie first. That's going to probably be the easiest thing. As far as on the main lake, a lot of your bluffs, your pockets off the bluffs, creek mouths, stuff like that, the standing timber in about 20 to 25 foot of water have a lot of crappie on them. Just scan with your fish finder, check them. Most of your fish are going to be down about 12 to 18, 12 to 20 foot off them bluffs. This cold front's probably going to push them down a little bit lower. They might be in 20 foot right on bottom. On the main lake, Austin, most of this fishing report on the crappie's coming from Austin McClure. A little bit of it's going to come from what the people in the shop have been saying, but Austin's been bouncing around. He's been fishing most of the main lake. He's been on the upper ends, so he can pretty well give a better crappie report than anybody on the lake right now. So he said on the main lake they want that bait moving a lot. They don't want it sitting still. As far as on the upper ends of the lake, they want it pretty well sitting still right in front of them. Pretty well all the fish holding the timber, holding the brush piles. On the upper arms, he said anywhere from like Bucksaw area, 8 to 15 foot of water. The main lake here on Truman, about 10 to 20 foot of water on the brush piles on the mud flats. That's kind of the pattern right now. Kind of been the pattern for quite a while now. Was 8 to 20 foot of water. Now it's kind of 10, 12 foot to 20 foot of water. Push down some of them just a little bit deeper, not much. Most of them I've been seeing are kind of setting in that, them ones that are in that 15 to 20 foot of water, they're kind of setting right on top of the brush too. A lot of them fish have been hanging up a little bit more in that deeper water. So same way like I was mentioning off the bluffs in that 20 to 25 foot of water, a lot of them fish are down about 3/4 of the way down in the water column. This cold front will push them down a little bit more. Jump over to the hybrid fishing, white bass fishing. So this week, white bass have showed up all over KK Island. They're not busting. You just got to look for them. They're real finicky to get them to bite. One day you might be able to get them to bite on real small jigs. Next day they don't want anything. I caught quite a few pretty well every day this week, except for one day the hybrids wanted live shad. The shad was too big for the white bass, so I didn't catch any of them. It's a lot of small white bass. There's some bigger ones mixed in, but yesterday we had some big white bass down there. Not a lot of them, but the ones we had was good fish. Just throwing swim baits, trolling A-rigs, which I absolutely hate doing. This week, the fish, it seems like if the fish are feeding, they're going to be moving a lot. You can't get your boat close to them. They do not want live shad. They'll just hit them and kill them. Will not eat them. Like one day a week, maybe they'll eat shad. The other days, they will just hit it, scale it, and kill it. So it's kind of different every day, but for the last, I don't know, 7, 8 days, the trolling A-rigs, if they didn't want live shad, has worked. Several days I would find some scattered fish. Every pass through them I'd catch 1 or 2 fish. Yesterday we caught 3 or 4 doubles. You know, an A-rig can only have 3 hooks on it. A lot of them, all 3 hooks would have a fish on them, and 1 hook would usually straighten out, so you'd get 2 of them in. There was one, we had 3 up to the boat. We got to see all 3 of them, and there's all 3 big fish. I'd say all over 7-8 pounds. So that was kind of cool getting to see that. I'll throw A-rigs during the spring quite a bit when the white bass and hybrids are up on the, more so up on the points and stuff like that. Some of them gravel bars, they work really good on. That's probably the first time of year I've ever used them in August. Normally it's always strictly a live bait bite. This year's just completely different for whatever reason. Maybe because all the rain early, I don't know. A lot of the hybrids that I've caught this week have only been 5 to 10 foot down. Them are really hard to get your boat close to. You can catch a few throwing swim baits through there. Last week they was more so on bottom. If they're on bottom, they're easier to catch on artificials. You can let it hit the bottom, work it back to you, and usually catch them. When they're suspended like that, it's really hard to get your depth right. You can just play with it. I did catch some casting this week, so did not see much topwater action. The topwater action I did see was like right now when it's just barely light enough to see anything. They would bust. By the time you get there, they're going to be done. I did one morning, I hooked 3 on topwater, lost all 3 of them. None of them hooked good. They just wasn't really taking it. That's about it on the hybrids. Like I said, if you can't catch them casting, can't catch them on live bait, try trolling through them. I hate that because it usually scatters the fish, but when they're so spookish you can't even get close to them and they won't eat live bait casted way out away from the boat. That's the only way to catch them. So I got a customer coming in here, so I'm going to make this quick on the catfish side. I have not heard much on walleye. Bass has been really sporadic. There's been a few of these cold fronts where they actually caught them on top water pretty good. So there's a possibility that might happen again this weekend with the cold front. Who knows? On catfish, fresh cut shad drift fishing, everybody says, well, they're not biting shad. If you're not catching catfish on shad right now, you need to move locations, try some different mud flats, switch up your depth. I watched a lot of people fishing this week with very little luck on Truman on catfish. But them fish are there. You're just going to have to move around. They might bite on, always August, September's hard months for blue cat on Truman. They might bite on the grand arm, but won't bite on the Osage. Or they'll bite on the Osage, won't bite on the grand. Or they'll bite on big palmy or little palmy and won't bite on the other 2. You just never know. You have to find that bait, find the fish that are feeding in it. The only guy that I've seen actually catching limits of blue cat, he's been below Brown's Bend on Lake of the Ozarks, Jeremy Ransom. If any of you guys are interested in a catfishing trip this fall, I'm pretty well booked solid until December. Give Jeremy Ransom a call. I didn't write his phone number down. I got it in my phone, so if anybody needs it, you can message me. He's got quite a few trips open this fall on Lake of the Ozarks. He will put you on fish, guaranteed. He's like me. He will do whatever it takes to get his clients on fish. If he's got to burn half a tank of gas, he's going to go to the fish. Several of the other catfish guides right now aren't doing very good, catching 8 or 10 fish a day. That's really slow. I get back to catfishing next week, so I'll keep you guys posted on what I find on that. I think you can still catch limits on Truman, but I don't know. Ain't nobody doing it. So I'll get back to y'all next week on another fishing report, probably the end of the week. But this should help you out for this weekend. I appreciate it. I'm going to get to my customer here. So thank you all. If you need anything, swing by the shop, call us. We can help get you guys started in the right direction. I appreciate it. Have a good one, y'all.